Hello, welcome to the show today. In this episode, I want to expand a little bit about this idea of the language of your life. I did an episode on this topic a few months ago, and it's something that a lot of people brought up to me. They found it helpful. It was sort of like a big aha moment for them. And it's because this topic comes up a lot in people's lives. So I wanted to continue to pull this thread all the way through. Remember, the language of your life is all about how you talk about your life, how you talk to people or yourself about your relationships, your work, your health, your body, everything in your sphere. It's the words you use and the language that you speak. And the reason we care about this is because words have energy, and you're always communicating and broadcasting a frequency of energy, whether you're conscious of it or not. If we want to have a great impact in the world, we better damn well be aware of the frequency that we're broadcasting into the world. And that means paying attention to the language that we use in our life. For me, this has been something that I've been hyper aware of, especially in the last couple years. I've talked about that before. The more I dig into this, the more I learn about the impact of language on our thoughts and our feelings, and therefore our biochemistry, even down to our cells. And as you practice becoming aware of your language and your words, you just keep discovering layers to this. You start to notice the language that you use in your head, conversations that nobody else can hear, the way that you talk to yourself, the little narratives that you have about things that you weren't even aware of before. And the more I learn and notice, the more I don't want to mess around with speaking negatively about things in my life. It just feels so risky to me. I've done enough of that. I've gotten stuck in the habit and cycle of complaining, just like everyone else. I've been in the season of feeling hypercritical or judgmental. I mean, I still catch myself slipping into that sometimes. I think we all have those saboteurs in our head, but I just don't want to do that anymore. It really doesn't get me anywhere. And I don't want to be broadcasting that frequency to the world. I wanted to share a story with you. This was something that I did probably about 6 years ago now. I stopped saying the word busy. I had been noticing myself saying the word busy a lot. I think I was in the habit of responding that way when people asked me how I was, mainly because that's how everyone would respond to me when I would ask them how they were. And I didn't really like the word busy. In fact, it kind of pissed me off because whenever anybody said to me, "Oh, I'm just so busy," I felt like it kind of shut the conversation down between the two of us. Like this little invisible wall just went down between us. And it sort of short-circuited the connection that we were having or that we could have had. And so I was annoyed that so many people were saying the word busy to me, but I was also aware that I would use that word. I mean, I freaking even wrote an article about quote unquote busyness, like the culture of busyness for this acupuncture publication years ago. That's how in it I was. But I was freaking sick of it. And I didn't like the way that I felt when people talked to me about their busyness. I didn't like the way that I felt when I heard myself say it. The word had a really negative connotation for me. Didn't like the energy attached to it. I mean, when you really start to think about it, the word busy doesn't have a lot of positive connotation at all. It implies that you don't have a lot of attention, you don't have a lot of bandwidth, not a lot of availability to the person that you're talking to. And for me, there's a bit of a frenetic energy that I feel in my body when I hear that word. And so in conversation, when you say, "I've just been so busy," it sort of drops a wall in front of you and your listener. And I had been noticing this a lot and started noticing that when people use that word, busy, I would feel that wall come down every single time. And I thought to myself, this is not the story that I want to be telling about my life. I love my life. I'm excited about 90% of the things that I do in a day. And I'm grateful that I have these things to do. And frankly, I asked for all of this stuff in my life. I said yes to the jobs and the work projects and the relationships and the responsibilities. So what is the story that I really want to be telling about this? So I stopped saying the word busy 6 years ago, and it's been incredible. I don't say anymore. I really don't. I might say my life is full or there's a lot happening this season. It's not like I don't acknowledge what's happening or deny that there could be seasons of stress or challenge. I just choose my language with more intention around this sentiment. And for me, I've noticed the biggest change in regards to my relationships and the interactions and exchanges that I have with people. They just feel more positive and more energizing and like a truer connection to me. I challenge a lot of my clients to do this just as an exercise, and it's really powerful for them as well. They'll say to me, wow, a lot of people shut down the conversation when they talk about how busy they are. I just feel like there's nowhere for us to go. And that is exactly what I was feeling when I was using that type of language. There's a messaging that comes across, and the message is, I'm in lack. I'm in scarcity. I'm in trouble. I'm struggling. I'm in stress. And that gives a very specific message to the people who are listening to you. As a leader, you don't necessarily want to be implying that you are in lack or that you are feeling scarcity. You don't want to imply that you're feeling short on energy or time or resources to be able to assist or guide people on your team. As a parent, when you're talking to your kids and you're saying things like that, I'm so busy, I'm too busy, they pick up on that energy too. And they start to think, this person doesn't have time for me or the energy or resources for me right now. I think about that now more as a parent and how I might be modeling certain things for the girls. Now, let's go ahead and call out the nuance to this situation, because that's what we do on this show. And we are all resourceful adults who are capable of understanding the distinctions here. When I stop saying the word busy, it doesn't mean that this impacted my ability to ask for help or say how I'm really feeling. If you're struggling, if you're drowning in tasks, if you're overwhelmed, if you need support, you can take ownership of that and speak your mind and your heart. That's part of being impactful. That's personal responsibility and asking for what you need. What we're focusing on here is the energy around the language and the words that we use when we talk about our life, and making sure that we are very clear about the story that we want to be telling. So my challenge to you this week is to look at what words you might be saying that are loaded, like this word busy was loaded for me. Maybe you say busy a lot and it doesn't feel like the story you want to be telling. Maybe there's another word that you're in the habit of saying that doesn't really feel aligned when you think about it. That's the beauty of these conversations. It's meant to spur on your own insights. So have fun with this. If you have one that you think of, let me know. Send me an email. I think this stuff is so interesting. I hope you have a great day. As always, thank you for listening and being here. And thank you for being ready to impact. Thanks for listening to Impact Ready. I hope today's episode inspired you to own your impact and recognize that you are powerful. By elevating our energy and awareness, we can create exponential change in this life. If you enjoyed today's insights, share them with a friend and subscribe to the show for more. I truly appreciate you. Thanks again for being here.